Who am I talking with?
I'm Crystal McDonough.
And what does Crystal McDonough do?
I'm an attorney and I own McDonough Law LLC.
And nice last name. Did you have that before you got married, or did you pick that up?
That's my married name.
Good for you. Being Irish, empathetic towards the Irish names.
Yeah.
I met you the other night, and I think I may have said, where do you live? So where do you live? Where's your law office?
All right, so we have 4 offices,
Okay.
3 of them in Colorado, 1 in Wyoming. Home is Colorado.
Okay. When you say, the thing that piqued my interest was what? All of a sudden it was like, wow, how can that be where you guys are living? What's the story about this?
So I grew up in Grand Lake,
Yep.
tiny little mountain town, right next to Rocky Mountain National Park, way up in the mountains. And so my heart's always been in Colorado, but I love to travel. So about in 2013,
Okay.
I convinced my husband to buy an RV and pack up the kids, the dogs, and head out on an adventure. And
As a lawyer too.
As a lawyer, yeah. So we headed out for our first 2-week adventure, went up to Yellowstone, and loved it. So I was hooked. And
What was the Wi-Fi like in Yellowstone?
honestly, I don't even remember that. But since then, we've gotten a lot more sophisticated with our travel, and I have hot spots.
But as I understand it, the entire family, you have 3 children?
I have 3 kids, 3 teenagers.
And you and your husband travel at the same time that you're practicing law.
Yes.
And you're doing this out of a motorhome or a very large size trailer that's being pulled by a truck.
Yeah. Yep. We have a giant 40-foot fifth wheel, 4 slides, and a fireplace, and a kitchen island. So I call it my condo on wheels.
So imagine somebody like me, who started practicing, graduated from law school in 1982.
Okay.
And you basically got to find. First it was in Ireland. We still had offices, but then we have an office. We have a firm. We come in the morning. We hang our coat on the back of the hook. We have the hardline telephone.
Right.
The clients come in and meet us.
Right.
We meet the clients at the office. We walk to the courthouse. And here you are off in this, traveling thing with the entire family. It's so far-fetched to what I could even imagine.
Oh, yeah.
What type of work do you do that allows you to do that type of work? And then how do you interface with clients today?
So this was by design. I knew this was a second career for me. I went to law school with 3 little kids. My youngest was 3 years old when I went to law school. And I knew when I went to law school that I wanted to start a law firm. The goal was to be independent and to have freedom and flexibility to work and live around my family,
right,
rather than being married to my job all day.
Right.
So this was an intentional plan. I designed my practice so that we could be completely mobile and not tied to any one location. While we have physical offices, we rarely use them. And instead, I've designed our practice so that every single person in the firm can work remotely. So,
Who's we when you say we at the firm? Who are all these people? Are there lawyers? Are there, are there paralegals, assistants? Who are they all?
So started off solo and grew from there. I had a partner at one point, and then as life goes, I found myself solo again, and then decided to rebrand and started hiring attorneys and support staff, paralegals, and so I've got about 10 folks working for me now, and I love it. And every single one of them gets to work remotely. I do have one paralegal that comes into the office because occasionally we have mail, but I've set us up completely paperless.
Right.
So when I'm working with clients, we work remotely anyway. Most of my clients are very busy and don't have the time to come into the office, or they don't live anywhere near one of our offices. I've got clients all over the country.
What type of work?
So we practice natural resources, energy, business, and trust and estates.
Yeah, so it's I think when people first hear this, they're thinking, well, what type of sophisticated client would even consider this type of thing? So it doesn't bother those clients where you're working or where your team is or anything about it, so long as they're getting good quality representation.
Exactly, and we're always available. I always have my phone. and my clients have my cell phone number. So
24/7, 365.
Yes. So they can reach me at always, email, phone call, Zoom calls, whatever works, whatever they need, we get the job done.
Where's your husband? Is your husband working or?
He is now a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, I would guess. I mean, you're able to, build this thing.
Right.
At the same time, you got to go out to law school. Your youngest is 3 years old. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
What's it like for the kids? Mom is around. We're in the trailer. We're traveling all over. What do they think?
They love it. So in order to make their traveling work, we homeschooled our kids.
Right.
So it's been just a wonderful experience for all of us because we'll get to sit down at the kitchen table and I'll be working on client work. They can be working on school, and or I'm in my home office, and if they've got questions, they can come in and talk to me. And, my littlest, she used to have a little desk set up in my office, and that was her desk, and she would do her school in my office while mommy was working, and it was wonderful. When I took a break, I could have lunch with them or snacks or cuddle with them, and it's been great.
As far as the area of the law that you're doing, did that dovetail off with the University of Wyoming?
Yes.
As far as the energy area?
Yeah, I went to the University of Wyoming,
right.
and I received my JD and my master's. So my master's is in natural resources and
right.
energy, and then I also worked for the School of Energy Resources as a graduate assistant, and I got to work on amazing energy projects while I was a student. And in fact, I actually worked for the state legislature. I was assigned by the School of Energy Resources to the Wind Energy Task Force in the state legislature. So I did all the research and assisted in drafting a lot of the wind energy policy, which was fascinating as a law student and a great opportunity. It helped to jumpstart my career. So when I went out on my own and started my firm, I had clients in hand.
Already, and you were well on your way to knowing what you were doing too, as opposed to trying to figure out what you're doing. The idea of a distributed workforce today is a term that's becoming in vogue. We use our core software is WordPress. So I've gotten to know Matt Mullenweg, who is the co-founder of WordPress, but he's the principal owner of WordPress.com, the largest install of it, which is a multi-billion-dollar company. They have no offices, and Matt has people around the world. And last year, I think he traveled 200,000 miles to make sure he got to spend time with them. And the only time their team comes together is if they want to do meetups, but they could say, okay, we're located in Canada, the States, wherever. Let's have a meeting in Athens, and they do that. In our company, we moved out of regular offices, but we moved into offices at WeWork where we all are. But now we are going to distribute it, because why would we call somebody remote like it's a lesser thing? And the newest team member that will be running products, I haven't met. I'll meet on Thursday. Liz in Austin that joined us about 10 days, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's an eye-opening thing.
Yeah.
What do you see as someone your age that where you practice law, the internet existed, and these new means of communication, like you said, I've got this in my pocket.
Right.
It's totally different than someone my age that hasn't seen it. It's almost like I feel that we're a little bit handicapped because we can't see what you see. We haven't communicated like you've communicated in this new world. I mean, I'm sure you've been asked the question by people that are saying, well, how is that possible? Could I really do this? That's impossible for me to do that. How do you look at it? And why do you look at it differently? What caused you to look at this differently?
Well, I looked at it, I think because I came to law from a different background. I had 3 kids. We had already owned and operated several small businesses by the time I started law school.
Okay.
I was in my 30s when I started law school. So I'm now in my 40s. And I think that having those backgrounds and experiences before law completely changed the way
paradigm.
It is. I think differently. I look at things different. I see the possibilities differently, and I think that's why. I do still need help on the technology side. Sometimes my kids have to help me with my phone. But, it's been great. I hired one of my attorneys while I was on the road in Florida.
Yeah.
And
I asked my COO, I said, Gary, come on, really? So this person's going to lead our products? We've never met him. He goes, well, if it doesn't work out, we might never meet him. He'll part ways, or we'll part ways with him. Why did you become a lawyer?
So my path was a little bit different. I never set out to be a lawyer.
Right.
But I love...
Well, somehow you ended up at law school.
I did. I love learning, and I just continued to go to school.
Okay.
While my kids were babies, I just kept taking classes and taking more classes, and I ended up with multiple degrees. And my husband looked at me one day and he said, is there an end to all of this? Are you just going to keep going to school? There should be a purpose. We're spending a lot of money on this. So I started trying to think, okay, what do I really want to do? And I was in... I started a program at the University of Denver, a master's program in environmental policy is the program. And my first class was taught by law professor Ved Nanda from the DU Law School. It was global energy law. And everything he said that night just clicked with me. I grew up around natural resources. My dad worked for a water company that managed hydro and the Colorado River, and my grandfather was a farmer and a rancher and managed his natural resources, and it took care of the land, and he had oil and gas, and it just kind of clicked for me. I came home that night and I said, this is it. I got to go to law school. My husband said, I don't even have any idea how to do that, but we'll figure it out. And we did.
It's different in the West, because I was in the Midwest and I came out to law school in California, in Northern California. Everybody's concerned about, water.
Yeah.
And whether it was riparian rights or water to the farms, and the ag stuff was so big.
Oh,
and then you're in classes on water law, and I'm thinking, I never thought about this stuff. The West is much different.
It is.
What would you tell people? You were in a different business before.
Yeah.
You just told the story about how you stumbled into law school. What do you tell young people about the opportunities that might await them as they see the law in law school?
Yeah. There is so much work out there. People need and are looking for attorneys who can be counselors and can guide them through situations that they need help. And those can range from anything from business to...
So this idea that there's no more jobs left.
No,
and there's no opportunity. You probably have taught at law schools. And some of them are like, well, maybe there was opportunities for you, but there's not for us today.
Yeah.
We're going to law school, we're paying all this money, we have all these student loans, we're not going to have any opportunities, and woe is us. You're saying, hey, wait a second, there are plenty of opportunities.
There's so much opportunity for people who are willing to look at law differently. What I think is the old traditional model of law, for me, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. Maybe it still works I know it works for many people, they're still doing it, but that's not what consumers want. Consumers want their attorneys to be accessible. The consumers want their attorneys to be responsible. They want to be paperless. They want to see commitment to the community and the environment. Consumers want to be able to use their smartphone to pay their bill.
Right.
I have a client down in Texas. We manage his ranch in Colorado for him. And we did some work for him. I sent him his invoice and it popped up on his phone, and he paid with his credit card, and it was done.
Yeah.
He called me and he said, Crystal, will you please talk to my Texas attorney? I can't convince him to send bills through email or text.
No, it's all over though. It's the medical care. My doctor, I can email their team and they'll splinter it out, and within an hour I have a response.
Right.
And I think it's the greatest thing in the world. I'm showing it to people. I said, you see this? My doctor is responding in an email, telling me exactly the situation. I probably don't need to come in, and here's what's going on. Love it.
I know.
And I'm telling people about them. Hey, you got to go there.
I know.
You got to. And yet you have those stats that Jack put up yesterday, and it's shocking as far as the lawyers not getting back to people. And all of that. You have a picture of because I was also felt like calling you out on, okay, show me this thing that you can actually haul the family around and do legal work out of with the fireplace.
Yeah, I call it my condo on wheels because it's so nice and
It's
comfortable.
not all bad.
But
How many square feet is it, or do you know?
I don't know. It's 40 foot long and it has 4 slide outs. So I don't know. I'm sure my husband can tell you exactly how many
It's
square
pretty
feet
good.
it is.
Pretty good size. It's,
Yeah,
it's the
I'll show
size
you
of
a
a
picture.
of a good condominium in town.
Right? But you know, if you're going to live in it for a month or 2 at a time or 3 months, you want to be comfortable. So this is it.
You see that? Thanks, Melissa. So what'd you call it? The something on wheels?
The condo on wheels.
It's the condo on wheels.
Yeah. But you know, we hauled mountain bikes, we hauled kayaks and paddleboards.
How many days or months or weeks or year you'll live in there or at home?
So we tend to be on the road anywhere from 4 to 6 months, and it kind of depends on what activities we have planned for the year. I typically like to go to Florida for the winter. I don't like being cold any longer.
So will you guys head to Florida this
Not
winter?
this year. Not this year. We have a new adventure planned this winter. We're buying horse property, and we just bought our youngest daughter a horse. She's been borrowing a horse for 2 years for Gymkhana and 4-H, and so we decided it's time to bite the bullet. She's 13. She's our youngest, so we're all in.
Pretty cool. And so when your kids go off to college or law school, and they'll say, "Oh, where are you from?" The condo on wheels.
Yeah.
In addition to all the other things, it's a great inspiration for your kids. Great role model for your kids. That you can do what you want. You can enjoy what you want. You can interact with the type of people that you want to, and that the world is changing dramatically. Whether they're professional like you, whether they're business owners working in a distributed workforce, it's very, very cool.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be in law and in business.
Well, did you get to speak here and share your story? Or are you going to today?
I am going to today at 3:15, and there's a big slideshow of all of our favorite pictures. Our whole family sat down and picked out pictures to share with everybody here at the conference.
So you tell your kids, "Hey, I'm going to this conference.
Yep.
This is what's going on. Can you help me pick out pictures? I want to show it. I want to show 1,000 people this what we do."
Yeah. So we've got a 30-minute slideshow loop.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.